Now, Namibia is taking a closer look at its workforce needs with the launch of the State of the Skills Demand Report. Now, joining us is Julia Muetudhana, Executive for Talent, Innovation and Productivity at NIPDB, to discuss how the report identifies emerging industry demands, bridges skills gaps and shapes opportunities for young professionals and organizations aiming to align with national priorities. Welcome to Daily Roundup, Julia.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
All right, just to start off now, the report highlights sector-specific skills shortages. Which emerging industries in Namibia are expected to see the highest demand, that is for new talent, over the next 5 years?
Thank you for asking this question. First of all, the energy sector that consists of oil and gas, green hydrogen, and biomass. And we are keeping our fingers crossed as a nation for the oil and gas to take off, especially after the recent oil discovery. We hope that we will reach FID, the financial investment decision. And then also the other one is the culture and creative industry. Now, we call them emerging because the labor census survey indicated that they currently employ less than 1% of the population. So they are emerging because it's got the potential for growth. And especially the culture and creative industry, it's all over the news that there is an investment in the culture and creative industry. And also the other one is, the other sectors is agriculture, manufacturing and automotive, tourism, transport and logistics, because we want to be the logistics hub in Africa. E-commerce, digital and global business and communication and technology, especially because we are living in a fast-paced world and whereby we have AI and also the global digitalization of world systems. And I think those are the sectors that have the potential to grow. Now, at NIPDB, we have also mapped out future skills, which means that there was a scientific method to determine which of these sectors have the potential to create employment and hence these sectors that I've highlighted.
Now, Julia, how does the NIPDB plan to involve educational institutions in shaping, that is, the curricula to better meet the skills needs identified in the report?
So first of all, we presented the report to Honorable Steenkamp, the Minister of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sport and Culture. She welcomed the report. The ministry actually peer-reviewed the report to ensure that we actually provide the right statistics to the nation, and then also the ministry launched it. So her directive really and the guidance that she has given is that this report will be presented at higher learning institutions that will inform policy and curriculum reform. So we are working closely with the Ministry of Education and also the Office of the Minister to ensure that for years to come, it will not be a quick fix, that our curriculum will be agile and we can look at these future skills and how it can be incorporated in the curriculum. So I'm really thankful to Honorable Steenkamp.
Are there any innovative training or apprenticeship models being considered to rapidly upskill the workforce in critical areas?
So I can just mention what we've been doing in the future aspirations. So last year already, the government implemented the National Youth Tax Incentive. There is a tax amendment under the Tax Amendment Act of 2024. That is to incentivize employers to take on more interns to ensure transfer of skills in terms of professional and industrial experience. And why it is important for us is that we are having a young demographic dividend, and most of the time we say young people do not have the necessary experience. So the government already has an instrument there. And then also the government is further going to promulgate the work integrated learning policy to ensure that we produce quality apprenticeship. And then also setting up centers of excellence, and especially when it comes to pivot, meaning that there will be centers whereby they will become specialized centers, and that will help us upskill and certify our apprenticeship. and also for employers to upskill their workforce to bridge the skills gap. So there are many interventions, but all that I can say is that it cannot be government alone. Private sector, public sector, government needs to hold hands and collaborate effectively to ensure that we are future ready as a workforce and as a nation.
Julia, the report likely points to gender disparities in certain sectors. Now, what steps are being taken to ensure equitable access to skills development opportunities?
First of all, I need to applaud our government, especially Honorable Steenkamp, for launching the free education intervention by fully subsidizing tertiary education. That alone opens up opportunities for the girl and the boy child. And that also indicates that we want to have an inclusive education system. And then also the other measures that we can take is to ensure that we've got school careers and that inform our learners about these upcoming or emerging sectors. And then also the other thing is to build a firm foundation in the STEM, and especially science, math, engineering, and technology, because currently our lowest enrollment is in the STEM subjects and all the other fields are saturated. So I would say that those are the few interventions that we can embark upon. Some of the work has started. We are just reinforcing and strengthening to give us the desired results.
Of course. And how can technology and digital platforms be leveraged to bridge skills gap, that is particularly in remote or underserved regions of Namibia?
You see, I pride myself with MTC. There is a 90% mobile coverage and 87.4% mobile broad access. And I believe that with that 97 mobile coverage, we can really access online courses. That's one. And also free courses, because with the information, it's not only government, but also individual citizens taking their future in their own hands. And I do online courses. But also the other thing is that we need to collaborate with the Ministry of Education regional offices to disseminate information. We know that in the remote areas, radio is an effective tool to disseminate information. So we will make use of those tools to disseminate information. But I just want to applaud our nation. Take the future in your own hands by really enrolling in free accessing online courses. To bridge that skill gap.
Of course. Now, Julia, in terms of foreign investment, how does aligning workforce skills with market needs make Namibia more competitive regionally and globally?
You know, skills have become a global currency. In Namibia, with a young demographic dividend, and when we speak about the demographic dividend, it's 71%. It's quite huge. This cohort is quite huge. We need to acknowledge that we have foundational knowledge, but at times we lack technical and specialized knowledge. So I think that as a government, we need to reinforce and regulate job shadowing, understudies, transfer of skills to ensure that the practical know-how is transferred to our nation. And then we can leapfrog some of the skills gap. And that will help us to have a workforce that is mobile and also future ready. Because there must be a certain exchange between experience and non-experience, and we need to be deliberate about it. And with all the legal instruments that we have in place, we can surely reinforce it and monitor it.
Julia, looking ahead, how often will the NIPDB update or track the state of skills demand, and how will this inform long-term policy decisions?
Okay, so this was our inaugural report. So our wish is really to ensure that we publish this report to monitor policy, because already in our recommendation, we have given recommendation or provided recommendation with possible ministries that can be responsible. So it's for us to track the policy environment, but also the skills ecosystem and what shifts are taking place. So it's our wish to do it annually. and so that the nation can be informed how we are transforming in terms of skills, in terms of those economic sectors, and how we are absorbing our graduate into the labor market, because those are the things that keeps us awake. Our high youth unemployment, our high graduate unemployment, and with all these interventions, we hope one day that we will crack the formula to ensure that at least our young people are employed and that we are all looking forward to a bright future as we hold hands together.
Julia, before I let you go, but perhaps will this report also be able to help students perhaps to identify some of the need in terms of the skills that are needed, not to have one industry that will be saturated with a lot of graduates and also just not employment at the end of the day?
That is a very good question, because the future skills is across 10 sectors, because that will help us also help our young people to take an informed decision. What we have done with future skills is we have looked at courses that are available in Namibia and that are not available in Namibia. So there is a good opportunity when young people want to upskill, that they can look at future skills report, and there are certain courses that they can do in Namibia if there are financial constraints and they cannot go overseas. So we have catered for that, and that's why we've got critical skills for high-performing economic sectors and future skills. And that combination can help us really bridge that gap and the concern for young people.
Julia, thank you so much for being on Daily Roundup this evening.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for having me.
All right. That was
good evening.
Thank you so much. That was Julia Muetudhana. She is the Executive for Talent Innovation and Productivity, that is at NIPDB. Just giving us an update or telling us about, that is the State of Skills Demand Report that was launched and how it will also be able to identify some skill gaps and so forth. Now that wraps